U.S. Weather Forecast News, early September 2025. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are now stepping into the very first days of September 2025, a time usually marked by lingering summer heat mixed with the first cool breezes announcing the arrival of autumn. This year, however, the weather picture across the United States is anything but ordinary. Instead of calm transitions, millions of Americans are about to face one of the most unusual and rare cold outbreaks ever recorded for September. At the same time, strong thunderstorms continue to threaten the South and West, while the Atlantic Ocean is also gearing up for increased tropical activity as we move into mid-September. At the top of our news tonight, a powerful mass of cold air is plunging directly from Canada into the United States. This is an exceptionally strong cold front for this time of year, with the potential to drop temperatures across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and along the East Coast by as much as 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit below seasonal averages. This means numerous low-temperature records for September could be broken this week, especially around Wednesday and Thursday, September 3rd and 4th. Meteorologists explain that a strong jet stream is currently steering cold northwestern winds from Canada into the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. A mid-level low-pressure system forming over the Great Lakes will keep this cold air locked in place, circulating and reinforcing itself over several days. Such a setup usually doesn't appear until mid-autumn, often in November, making this early September event highly unusual and significant for 2025. In the coming days, states such as Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and the broader Midwest will be the first to feel the chill. Nighttime lows are expected to fall into the 30s and 40s degree F, 0 to 8 degrees Celsius, with wind chills dipping even lower into the 20s degree F, around -6 degrees Celsius. In rural valleys and low-lying areas, frost and even patches of ice could develop, a rare scenario for early September. Daytime highs will struggle to climb above the 40s to 50s degree F, paving the way for potential records of the lowest high temperatures ever observed in early September. Cities across northeastern Minnesota, Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and parts of Iowa could see daytime highs stuck near 40 degrees Fahrenheit, levels typically not seen until late October or November. The cold won't stop in the north. As the air mass sinks southward, the Ohio Valley and even the Northeast will feel the chill by September 5th to 7th. States including Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and much of New England will experience a marked temperature drop. Along the Great Lakes, the contrast between warmer waters and frigid air aloft may spark waterspouts between September 4th and 6th. Though not as powerful as tornadoes on land, these spinning columns of air and water still pose risks to boating and fishing activities. At the far northern tip of Minnesota, there's even a small chance of seeing the season's first flurries drifting in the early morning hours, an exceptionally rare sight for the start of September, but not impossible under the current deep cold. Meanwhile, the southern U.S. is grappling with a very different weather story. Texas, Louisiana, and parts of the southern plains are experiencing widespread, prolonged thunderstorms. A persistent high-pressure system over Mexico and South Texas is funneling Pacific moisture northward, delivering several inches of rain. Over the next few days, rainfall totals could reach 3 to 6 inches across northeastern Texas and urban centers such as Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. Flash flooding in low-lying areas and small river basins remains a serious concern. Extended rounds of thunderstorms are also saturating soils, raising the risk of urban flooding. City officials are urging residents not to drive through water-covered roads and to stay alert for short-term weather advisories. Further west, the Southwest remains hot, with Arizona, Nevada, and California recording above-average heat. Relief is expected by the weekend, when Pacific moisture brings showers and cooler air. Welcome news for communities that have endured long stretches of extreme heat and elevated wildfire risk. In the Southeast, particularly Florida, conditions remain unaffected by the cold outbreak. A warm bubble is holding steady, keeping temperatures near or above average. Florida continues to face hot, humid weather, while nearby states in the southeast see only modest cooling, as much of the country pulls out jackets. Florida residents will still be battling the sticky late summer heat. Looking further ahead, forecasters warn that by the second week of September, as cold troughs shift toward the Rockies, severe weather could re-emerge in the nation's midsection. The combination of cold air, mountain terrain, and returning Gulf moisture could ignite rounds of strong thunderstorms, though timing and exact locations remain uncertain. Over the Atlantic, tropical activity is starting to stir. For now, a series of cold fronts sweeping across the U.S. have kept storms from advancing inland. But in the next 8 to 10 days, tropical waves emerging off the coast of West Africa are expected to strengthen and move westward. At first, Saharan dust and wind shear will limit development, but as those barriers weaken and the Atlantic high-pressure ridge expands, conditions may become much more favorable. Forecast models remain split. The GFS suggests some waves may curve north and dissipate, while the ECMWF hints at stronger systems driving straight west toward the Caribbean, similar to earlier storm patterns this season. Including Hurricane Erin, possible outcomes range from weak tropical depressions to major hurricanes within the next 10 to 12 days. This is why residents across the Caribbean and along the U.S. East Coast are being urged to monitor forecasts closely. A small shift in steering winds could mean the difference between a storm heading harmlessly out to sea or striking land. As we move through September and into October, the MDR, the main development region for Atlantic hurricanes, will remain highly active. Some systems will flourish under ideal conditions, while others will fade, but overall, hurricane season is now entering its peak, and the clash between Canadian cold fronts, Atlantic storms, and Pacific systems will make for a turbulent weather landscape. Historically, this early September cold rivals the unusual outbreaks of 2013 and 2014, when temperatures plummeted dramatically in the Midwest and Ohio Valley. This year, the cold not only returns but also spreads across a wider area. Dozens of daytime low temperature records are likely to fall in states such as Michigan, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They reflect real impacts on daily life and agriculture. Officials are advising residents to prepare, protect the elderly and young children, ensure heating systems are ready, and shield crops from unexpected frost. In the South, especially Texas and Louisiana, flood warnings must be taken seriously as heavy rain persists. Across the Great Lakes, boaters and fishermen should exercise extreme caution due to the risk of waterspouts. In summary, the U.S. weather outlook for early September 2025 is strikingly dramatic. The eastern half of the nation faces a rare and severe cold snap, dropping temperatures 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit below normal with frost, patchy ice, possible flurries, and even lake waterspouts. The south and west battle days of thunderstorms, flash floods, and urban flooding, but will eventually see relief from persistent heat. Meanwhile, the Atlantic remains quiet, but only for now, with tropical systems expected to ramp up from mid-September into October. That concludes today's U.S. weather forecast news. We will continue to bring you the latest updates so you can plan your work, travel, and daily activities with confidence. Thank you for watching, and we wish you safety and peace as you navigate the days ahead.